Before we get too far into this, gentlemen, I just have to say, Miami, y'all got a cute little program down there, man. Y'all are building something, and it's nice. Just stick with Mario a little bit longer, and y'all will be able to really hang with the big boys of the ACC. You know, the Clemsons and Louisvilles, Florida States, SMUs, those guys that compete for the championship. But I hope we see y'all in Charlotte, dude. Y'all got a nice little thing. Roll that intro film. Let's do it. Welcome on into the Cards Companion. It is your boy Josh, joined as always by my great co-host James and special contributor to Cardinal Companion Brad on this week. James, how are we doing, man?
Everything that we said last week that had to happen for us to win this game happened. Carson Beck, who over the course of the past 3 to 4 years has shown that he's had issues with a 4.25 and be able to distinguish the star backer. And we just happen to have one of the best star backers in the country in Antonio Watts. And the factor going into the game, we all knew this, is if you stop Miami's running game, it puts a lot of pressure on Carson Beck to be able to read that defense. And you saw that consistently throughout the night.
Brad, how are you feeling, brother?
I am fantastic. Okay. So, like y'all said last week, I mean, there were certain things Louisville had to do in order to win. Some things we hadn't seen very consistently this year. We saw it, we found a way, and it was a great weekend.
Gentlemen, I will have y'all know that right now, the Louisville Cardinals have the best win in college football.
Yes,
and that's not even hyperbole to say. Miami, yes, we beat and this is the one thing I want to hit on, okay? Going into this week, a large amount of the country was calling Miami the best team in the country.
Yes.
Just outright. That's not even me doing the Louisville thing, trying to build our resume, because now we're worried about our resume. That's not even me trying to build a resume. That was a legitimate talking point on a large majority of these national shows. You had a 1A in Ohio State, and you had a 1B in Miami. Louisville went down to South Florida, and they beat Miami, a Miami team that has wins over one playoff team that we would assume right now in Notre Dame.
It's also a Miami team that had not trailed all year, and they didn't lead at any point on Friday night.
Exactly. And the way that Louisville went down there and won is they just outcoached Miami, which isn't much to say because it's Mario Cristobal, obviously. But you had the playmakers in place, and I think going away from that game, we're now looking at Louisville's roster where we thought, hey, Miami's roster's right here, Louisville's roster's right here. Now we're saying, it's maybe about right there.
Yeah. I think to me, it was great to see Isaac probably as close to 100% since the Eastern Kentucky game. I mean, you could tell early on in that game he looked healthier. Plus, when he had the offensive line doing their job, he ran with confidence, and we hadn't seen that. I mean, he looked like a completely different back. And you could tell. I mean, I've told multiple people this. You could tell from the first snap. He was just dialed in. The whole offense was, and it carried. They kind of kept that mindset the entire game.
I want to touch on something. I was talking with some of our friends over at BetSurge. If you all want the 502 trifecta, it hit big this week.
They're on a freaking roll right now, dude. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I want to give you all some odds from before the game for Midesason to after that we were talking about. Before this game, Miami was minus 220 favorites to win the ACC. After the game, they dropped to a plus 220. Before this game, Carson Beck was the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman at a plus 300. He's now at a plus 4,000.
It's the wrong English effect.
For the playoff went from 2% to 14%, according to ESPN's FPI or whatever metrics they use. But yeah, it went from 2% to 14%.
Louisville went from the 7th favorite to win the ACC to the 4th.
So, and this is kind of part of the larger conversation that we will have on the other show. So check into All Around the South. It's going to be a very big deep dive into the college football playoff and championship odds, because we're at the halfway point of the season. It's starting to become realistic to talk about those. With Louisville, I'm going to be very realistic. I don't think you make the ACC championship. I think the Virginia win or loss really, really hurts you. Just with the way that Virginia is very set up schedule-wise to be like a Louisville 2023, if that makes sense. They're really avoiding a large amount of the conference. And, granted, congrats to them on beating Louisville. With that being said, though, you got a real shot here of making the college football playoff.
Yeah, you do. You do. And a backdoor path at that, because if you take care of business, you find a way to finish 11-1. Say you don't make the ACC championship, you're going to be sitting right there on Selection Sunday, coming off of essentially another bye week with a chance of going into the playoff well rested.
Here's my thing about the playoff, and I'll touch this more. It's similar to the path Indiana took last year, where they had that one notable win, and with the way Clemson and SMU's years have gone, it looks like Miami will be that notable win. You're 11-1. You could sneak in rather comfortably as long as you're taking care of business week in and week out.
Exactly, and the way that I want to look at it is in comparison to how we felt 3 weeks ago to now. This is a new season. This is a new shot of life in the program, and you have to look at this as a one-game season every single week. Because if you drop a game, you're not going to make it. Point blank.
This happened perfectly for the fan base, because it was in that weird situation coming off the Virginia game where some of the fan base was kind of feeling pretty bad about the season. They thought maybe it was a wash. Some of the fan base did not feel very confident in the Miami game, and basketball starts next week. So it was one of those games that I feel you're going to see the impact of it the rest of the season, because those that were iffy on the program this season are going to buy back in.
You are. It's just in a nutshell, though. The one thing, a couple of shout outs we got to give for this game. Chris Bell is legitimately looking like one of the best receivers in college football.
JoJo Evans was a steal in the portal.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I've said all summer Chris Bell is going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. So he's just doing his job. I mean,
he's at 700 right now.
Yeah, halfway through the year, he's on pace for 1,400 yards. I mean, he's absolutely killing it.
I don't mean to toot my own horn a little bit, but what have I said for the past month? Whenever a certain human comes back and he's 100% ready to go, offense is going to look a little different.
It's a different O-line, baby.
Last year, Sylvester started getting put into the starting lineup, and the offensive line just went. That looked like last year's offensive line in the way they were able to make holes for Isaac Brown. It was early. It wasn't as good as it ended up last year, but I think it'll improve. And I think he legitimately may be one of the top tackles in the ACC.
Yeah, man. And so on my end, because we're just going to keep pinballing this because we got a lot of awards and praises to give out here. I gotta say, what's up, Miller Moss, man? I've been really, really hard on Miller Moss on this program. And you know what? He went out there. They found a game plan that worked for Miller Moss. He was able to control the game how he needed to, make the passes that he needed to, and play smart football when he needed to. He's throwing the ball away. He's trying to avoid sacks, even when the pressure rate is high. And he had himself a very nice football game. So hats off to Miller, dude. Good job.
An impressive stat from the game is, I think, on pass rushing attempts, Miami was successful on 58%, but they only got like 3 pressures the whole game because Miller Moss was averaging getting the ball out 2.3 seconds.
I was literally pulling up that tweet right now.
Like to me, it was the quick passing game. It's like
it is
what we've been screaming all year. I mean, and you saw it in some of those earlier games where those long developing routes. He just couldn't get the ball out. And then when this offense, transitioned to, okay, let's be short and quick, it's a completely different mindset. And when Miller has proven all year, if he's got enough time to get rid of the ball, he will get rid of it. And once again against Miami, he had his guy, and Chris Bell just absolutely cooked that entire defense all night.
I want to touch one more thing on the offensive line situation. Not to talk on anybody, but J.D. Pickle did make a statement. He thought Ruben Bain was going to have an insane game. Ruben Bain had 1 total tackle.
Louisville completely eliminated him from the game.
Ruben Bain's a legitimate. He's one of the best D linemen in the country.
He could be a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah. Oh, he will. Yeah, absolutely, he will. Yeah, he's that good. And he was a non-factor.
And that's the thing I really want to point out, and it takes me back to my original point, is a lot of people are saying, oh, Miami's doing the Miami thing again. Brother, this is a serious Miami roster they have. And Jeff Brom did Jeff Brom things, and everyone on the offensive side did offensive thing. They all bought into it, and they had a perfect game plan for this defense. And I was looking at some statistics. Did you know this might be one of the best defenses Louisville's played in like 10 years?
Oh, their defense
yeah.
is really good.
Like
Yeah, it's up
legitimately,
there.
like analytically, statistically, like there is a very good argument to be made that it's there. So they did a heck of a job. Taking it over to defense though.
Oh, can we bring up Antonio Watts?
I mean, you have to at this point. It's weekly. I mean,
It's kind of a little bit comedic. Every interception he has, it looks like he doesn't get an easy one. He had that one that he switched hands with against Pittsburgh. He had that one where he kind of just floated in between zones against Bowling Green. And this one, he just fully laid out. He couldn't have been further extended. And he's just one of the catches of the year in college football for a linebacker.
I'm going
I'll
to tell
say
you
this.
all something. Oh, sorry. You go first.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I'll say this. If something bad happens and we're down a couple wide receivers a game, just put him out there because he's going to catch the ball. I mean,
Genuinely.
and not. I mean, he can catch a ball 40 yards downfield as we saw against Miami. So I mean, it's crazy because like you always say, Josh, his position is he's not really a linebacker. I mean, he's not really a safety. He's kind of that in between. I mean, he's a hybrid linebacker, a star position, whatever you want to call it. But he can make plays all over the field. I mean, it's just he's gonna get drafted. I don't know where, but a guy like that is what you want on your team.
This is the hard conversation to have about Antonio Watson. I don't want to sidetrack this too much. I feel really bad for guys that play that star, money backer, gremlin, whatever you want to call him, role, because it is so situationally dependent. You don't see a lot of those guys really like get drafted very high, but those are guys that when they get into the league and they find their niche on a team, they're on that team for 10 years. They don't let them go. My mans. I think it's legitimately time we start talking about Ron English as a Broyles Award watch list.
I completely agree. The way the secondary's playing, we knew the linebackers were going to be good going into the year. The defensive line we knew had the opportunity to be really good, but the secondary's truly impressed me. In a way, if you just look at the improvement in guys such as like Holloway, there's a couple situations in last year where you saw there were some effort issues on a couple plays where he stopped. Example of how much better and composed he's been with this year under Ron English is that one play where Tony broke away on the screen pass and Holloway ran him down and stopped the touchdown, and we held him to a field goal before the half. That was something on last year team that's a walk-in touchdown.
I'm gonna get a little nerdy here for
sorry. I think for me, the player who's had probably one of the bigger jumps is D'Angelo Hutchinson.
Oh my goodness.
Ron this summer in one of his interviews early in fall camp, he had talked about how Hutchinson was wanting to leave, and they had a long discussion, and family got involved, and they all decided Louisville was the right place for him. And this year, he has completely shown out. I mean, he got hurt Friday night, and he didn't let it bother him. Like he went right back in. I mean, he was all over the field. I think when you think about this defense, I mean, and you got to think Rodney Johnson tried to give it a go Friday night, wasn't able to. He's going to be back. I don't know if he'll be back this week, but hopefully soon. But even without him, you just consistently had guys step up. JoJo Evans and, of course, D'Angelo Hutchinson. And that's what's really helped this defense take that next step. Not from being a good defense, but being a really, really dominant defense.
Yeah, man. The thing that I want to give a massive shout out to English about, we talked about it. You hit on it at the beginning of the show, James. We talked about it last week. We know what Beck struggled with. Yeah, we run the 4-2-5 here at Louisville. The 4-2-5 is a very malleable defense. You can run that a lot of different ways. Traditionally, what we've seen here at Louisville is they do what's called a tight set, where they have bear formations up front. That's roughly like 5 guys on the LOS for just that. What we did on Friday, we were throwing Watts back, lined up in the secondary, like very far back, where we saw that Beck was having the issues identifying that, and it just completely threw the game plan off. I know a lot of people are going to look at this game and they're going to say, oh, well, Beck, he just made 4 bad choices. Beck was forced to make those choices.
Can I elaborate a little bit something I want to touch on that we haven't talked about with the defense?
Yeah.
When Stanquan went out in that fourth quarter against JMU, what did we all say as a collective unit? It's now or never for TJ Capers. Last night, you saw the potential is like if we can use him in that, his pass coverage last night was good. Like they had some that Beck just put over top of him, but that last play, I don't care if the tight end ran the wrong route, Carson. TJ was going to pick that ball, tipped or not, because he was right in front of the guy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was TJ's second interception of his career, but they were almost identical because he had the one Friday, he had one very similar last year. I believe it was against Austin P on the sideline. I mean, it was very similar. But yes, I mean, you hit it nail on the head. In pass coverage, he's been phenomenal.
There's something extremely poetic also about TJ Capers sealing that game.
Well, yeah, I mean,
there's something extremely poetic about that.
Yeah, well, and I think you could say the same about Reuben Vane. Like, because I mean, it came down to Miami, Louisville, and I believe Florida State for him. And Capers, it came down to Miami or Louisville. So, you know, we split those recruiting battles, and well, we saw who got the last laugh.
And that's the thing I will one thing I won't hit on as much. Eric, he does all of our recruiting content. I'm sure he'll put out a video here soon, so check him out when he does. But the one thing I will say is this does so much for recruiting down in South Florida. You already saw it leading up to the game. Vince Morrow was down there 4 or 5 days earlier than the team, meeting with people. And you show kids this tape. And you say, hey, do you want to go play for Mario that doesn't know how to manage a game clock? And that has his first round draft pick making one tackle all game? Or do you want to come here and win games and still get drafted?
Can we talk about the wide receiver development and what this game's done for the program in the future? You go from Jamari Thrash to Ja'Cory Brooks, and now you got Chris Bell and Colin Lacey showing out for the nation. The improvement in Chris Bell alone over the course of the past 4 years, why wouldn't you want to come there where you know you're going to get better and you're going to be given an opportunity in prime time to show the world what you are?
Couldn't have said it better
myself. And it's going to be a position of need. Yeah, it's going to be a position of need this offseason. So, you know, you're putting – I mean, with the way this offense looked Friday night, I mean, you're putting that pitch out there already. Like, you come here, you're going to be utilized, and you're going to be able to put incredible film on tape.
This isn't this isn't involved with the game Friday, but I do have to give a shout out over something Louisville based on Friday. Briggs Cherry was 18 and 24 for 376 yards on Friday. The future is going to be very bright. He is one of the recruits that eyes were very tuned in at the end of that game. Leaky Tompkins was another one. He's down in IMG right now. Miami's in that recruiting battle trying to get in there. For everything I've heard, he's fully bought in. We'll see him next year.
We're going to turn the page on Miami here soon. I have one more thing to say, though. So in Jeff Brom's weekly press conference, he made a comment about playing multiple quarterbacks. I believe that was on Tuesday. And, you know, I was like, oh, it's just gamesmanship. Whatever. Little did I think on the very first snap, I see Brady Allen lined up a wide receiver.
Deuce was out there, too.
Well,
Deuce,
in the fall,
he got some carries.
In fall camps, we had heard there was option packages for Deuce. So we knew it was in the playbook. We just didn't know if it was ever going to be actually utilized.
I just wanted to throw the ball to Brady Allen to see what would happen. It was like, let him run a bubble. Let's see what we got here. What I will say, though, dude, the Wildcat. Yeah. The Wildcat package that we ran, I know it didn't have a lot of success against Miami. I really like that package. I really, really like that Wildcat package. I think that is a package you're going to be able to bring into teams with lesser talent on the defensive line, and you're going to make some magic with that package.
When I saw it, the one thing I would tweak with it is I would bring Braxton Jennings in as kind of like a fullback role in front of Isaac Brown or Colin Lacey, just because the way he runs, he gets downhill so fast. I think he'd be able to get just enough space for those two to just break it.
But turning the page on Miami, it was a great win. It's probably arguably your best it's not your most important, but it's probably arguably your best regular season win ever, in my opinion. Looking forward now
especially on the road.
Yeah. But turning the page now to Boston College. You got the old fighting Bill O'Brien's coming into town on Saturday night at 7:30. The line opened up today at 22.5 points to Louisville.
Boston College is having a lot of issues with their offense. They're coming off a game where they lost to UConn. They've been back and forth on who's going to start at quarterback up there. They're either 1-5 or 1-6 right now, if I'm not mistaken. That's a team that has a lot of issues. Their defense has been consistently bad throughout the year, and the offense, who at the beginning of the year was putting up points to kind of make up for the defense's struggles, is falling off. Truly, not to put too much, because usually it's the other show where coaches are on the hot seat. This is a serious situation where Bill O'Brien, maybe in the last couple of weeks of his tenure at Boston College.
Boston College, they are very, very offensively struggling. They're also struggling on the defense. Clemson, which is not a very good offense, in my opinion, scored 41 on them. They just gave up 38 to UConn, which UConn, not a bad offense for the G5. Do not sleep on the Huskies. They're not what they used to be. They gave up 48 to Pitt. This is a program. They're not in the best of spots. Obviously, everyone's mind is going to try to draw the parallels to the Stanford game last season. And just quite truthfully, you can't. You can't.
No,
you cannot do that again.
You're going to be at home. Should be a great crowd coming off a massive win, to where, and it's one of those wins where, like, you see it all the time. When you're able to steal one late or make a play late to steal a win, usually those teams come home just full head of steam. And it could be one of those where it's, guys, it might be over by halftime. Like, it's that kind of mentality. Show up, get this thing over with early. And just, the defense alone should be able to win this game. Let's be honest. Boston College, they looked good early. James, you said it. They've had some injuries. Their quarterback play is still pretty good, in my opinion. But the rest of that roster, this game should not be competitive.
It shouldn't be. Like I said, though, this is a 1-game season right now. And you got to just keep with that mentality. I fully agree with you, Brad. This is a game where you should see multiple quarterbacks. Like, you should be able to put this one very quickly. But it's one of those things, and I feel bad saying this, but James, you remember when we did the Bowling Green and the Eastern Kentucky shows? There's only so much you can say about Boston College right now, and none of it's good.
Well, we had looked at a little bit prior that S&P for Bowling Green is 95th in the country. No, Boston College, I'm sorry. Bowling Green is just 6 spots below them. So those teams aren't separated by much. This is a game you should be able to come in and kind of nurse injuries a little bit, do what you need to do early, and look forward to Virginia Tech the next week.
Do you guys think that Joe F. or Dylan Longren starts on Saturday?
I think Dylan's the better quarterback, but I think they're going to go with Jack. It just seems like the direction they're going in as a program.
Dylan is absolutely the better quarterback, at least from what I've seen out of Boston College.
Well, because Joe threw for 362 and 4 TDs last night.
Yeah, Dylan's better, though. I think Dylan's been hurt.
Mm-hmm. And then this is a team, the running game hasn't been very good, to be completely honest. Turbo Richards, he only has about 400 so odds on the year. Their offensive line is bad. It's bad. Passing game has been where they've kind of succeeded on offense. And I think this is another one, man, where just Louisville's defense can just, there's a reason why you're a top 10 unit, and you're going to show it this week.
Ron English is earning his spot and more this year.
Also, in fact, about Boston College, they have 126th ranked defense in the country. No, this is a game, honestly, man. I would this should not be close. I would really like to see Isaac and Duke have not a night off, but have a down night. I don't really think you should ever eclipse the 15 carries for those two guys in this game. Try to get Keywan involved as much as possible. Hopefully a guy like Braxton Jennings is healthy. That'd be nice to see. And then, just kind of go from there. Let Miller sling it. He keeps building his confidence. These are the games where it sounds mean, but I would love for you to throw the ball just to continue to build that confidence more, because you saw it against Miami where he's looking dialed in. So keep him dialed in.
Listen, I want not to go back to the Miami thing, but one guy we didn't talk about because it was just one play, but I love those digs to Dakari Collins over the middle. He's just a big guy that can just up and get that ball.
I do want to say this about Keywan real quick too, since we mentioned him, especially with Duke being out. Keywan in the pass blocking game was really, really good. Friday night. And I mean, as much as we love Isaac, that is where he has struggled. Is in the pass blocking, and Kiwan stepped up big time Friday night in protecting Miller.
Absolutely, he
In
did.
a season outlook topic, just want to touch on this before we close off. We had 4 road games at the beginning of the year. All we said was you have to get Miami or Clemson. You have to get Miami or Clemson. And we kind of knew there was going to be a game in there we may lose just because we've had one each year the past 3 years. I'm hoping that was a Virginia game when we slightly overlooked their capabilities. But you got Miami. You're 2-2 for your road games, and you can argue your 2 toughest road games are behind you.
All right. Let's round it out though on some Boston College predictions. Like we always do, we'll do our players on each side of the ball and we'll do a final score prediction. James, you're on the clock first. Give me your offensive player, your defensive player, and your score prediction.
So I don't think the starters are going to be in past the second quarter in this game. I think the story of this game, I really want to see Trayshawn Hurry make some plays in this game. He's a guy we know could take the top off, and this is a defense that's had issues with the big play all year. I think if you get a big game out of him, it's just going to be a better forecast for the passing game throughout the year. I'm going to go with Hutch. He just keeps getting better. And our safety room is legitimately one of the best safety rooms in the country, not just the ACC. Between Corey Gordon, JoJo Evans, and D'Angelo Hutchinson, with McCullough and Ruffin getting some reps in there. Their ability to just aid in the shell coverage for those corners has made this defense just another level this season. I'm going to go Cards 42-7.
All right, now Brad, it's your turn.
Yeah, Nate Kariski. Let's go back to last year's game for a second. I anticipate us to utilize the tight ends a little bit more this week. So I'm going to go Nate Kariski. I think he scores at least once against Boston College. They've been trying to get him more involved in the red zone. There was a play where Miller just barely overthrew him against Miami. It would have been a walk-in touchdown. I think we see a little bit more of that between him and Skinner. And then defensively, my player of the game for next week is going to be Clev. I think he's going to have multiple sacks. I think he's going to be in the backfield a lot next week. And I think he's going to be that player we're talking about from the defense after Boston College.
And then what was your score?
Score. Cards are going to win 41-7.
All right. For me, offensive player of the game, I'm going to go with Chris Bell because I'm vanilla and basic. He could legitimately have 200 yards receiving if he played all 4 quarters, but I don't think he does. It's a bad offense. It's a really, really bad defense you're playing against. I really would like to see you try to throw the ball here, establish a little bit more confidence in your pass game, and then Miller Moss. So I think Chris Bell is going to be your primary target. Defensively, hey, man. They like to throw the ball. This is a Cards Companion show. Give me Antonio Watts. I mean, it's the go-to answer for probably the remainder of the season, to be completely honest with you. I really do like the ability to continue to try to work out that pass defense as much as possible, especially before you really start getting late into the season when you see your SMUs. And I think this is a really good opportunity for that. I think Louisville has proven themselves time and time again throughout Miami and Pittsburgh and Virginia specifically. And I think that you have a really good shot here to, have another big day of just turning the ball over. For a score prediction, I'm going to go with Louisville 45, Boston College 6. But that's not ending the show, though, boys. We're doing something crazy this week. A little bonus content. It is officially the halfway mark of the season. All right. We are officially 6 games through. Louisville sitting at 5-1. They have the most impressive win in college football. They have a 14% chance to make the college football playoff. You look like you're on the back half of the schedule. You got the harder games out of the way first. We did a season prediction earlier this year. As of now, James, what is your final record and what bowl game are you playing in?
Okay. So in the season preview, all 3, me, you, and Eric, all 3 had us at 11-1. We all 3 had us losing to a different team. None of us had us losing to Virginia, but with that being said, teams that we did expect to be better are not. I'm going to stick with my 11-1. I think if you're 11-1, and I think this Miami team, this win's going to get even better throughout the year because they're back half of their schedule. Miami is going to be 20 points better than every other team on the schedule. They get SMU not to talk too much about Miami, they get SMU. That's probably the toughest game they have left. So Miami, who's gonna be 11-1, and you're the only team that's beat them, and your only loss is a Virginia team who has an easy road the rest of the year, so they're probably gonna be 9-3, 10-2. I think you get into the playoff, and you have a legitimate chance to be in that 8-9 hole with a chance to host.
What about you, Brad?
So I thought about this a lot last night. Because last night I was still on the 10-2 mindset. After watching SMU and Clemson yesterday, if your offensive line shows up like we know they're capable of now, you are a better football team than SMU. You went on the road, you beat Miami. You should be able to do the same thing with SMU. As long as you do that, you're finishing 11-1. SMU defensively is not anywhere near the same level as Miami, and you could possibly even say Virginia, as crazy as that sounds. Offensively, I think they can give you some issues. However, I think your defense is so much better from a talent standpoint and a scheme standpoint that you should beat SMU. And that hopefully could be a game to where you could clinch your spot in Charlotte, maybe. But if not, secure a 7-1 ACC record, and then go into the week against Kentucky for a chance to finish 11-1 and be right there where you want to be on Selection Sunday.
So going into,
I will say, if we don't get
Oh, sorry.
Pop Bowl, I will say if we don't get a playoff, I want Pop Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to play in Saudi Arabia.
And I'm glad that didn't happen because we all know if that was going to happen, we know where Louisville would be sitting. 100%.
That'd be such
no
of a
doubt
fun.
in my mind.
That'd be such of a fun show. That'd be such of a fun show for this page. Saudi Arabia bowl game, dude. I'd be locked in on that. For me though, so I predicted 11-1. I predicted us losing to Miami. That didn't happen, thank goodness. But if you go back to the previous show, I said really there's 3 big games for Louisville, and you have to win 2 of the 3, and that's SMU, Clemson, and Miami. Well, knowing what we know now, Clemson is not what we thought they were, and not even SMU to a lesser degree. I think Miami's a little bit better than we thought they were. Looking at it now, realistically, I think you have to go 3. You have to go 3-0 throughout this. And I think you do. I don't think anyone was expecting the defense to be a top 10 unit. The offense might not have been what we were fully expecting going into the season, but they are slowly getting better. And I think they're going to continue to just evolve as a unit. If you stay locked in, I think 11-1 is very reasonable. And if you're 11-1, you're in the college football playoff. Just the precedent has been set in previous years, especially with the Indiana being included last year. Your resume would be way too good to get left out at 11-1, in my opinion. And I think you're on the road. I think you're a lower half seed.
Sorry. ACC Huddle just announced they're going to be in Louisville for this weekend's game against Boston College.
First time ever.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. It's also the first time ever, about 99% sure, it's the first time ever game day is going to Vandy's.
Yes.
I mean,
what I'll say for the fans, by the way, if you have the opportunity, go check out ACC Huddle. They give away a lot of free stuff. But no,
they do.
Yeah,
they do.
I think
on that show.
11-1 college football playoff, and we'll talk about the college football playoff when we get closer and we talk about seeding. But you have a very realistic path. I don't think SMU. I don't think their defense can really stop your offense. I mean, Clemson is just they're Clemson, man. But no silly mental mistakes, and you'll get there.
Yeah, and I look at that game yesterday with a backup quarterback. Clemson was able to have multiple opportunities down the field. I mean that got me excited when thinking about SMU because as long as you're healthy, I mean Chris Bell could have a monster game against that SMU secondary.
In commenting about Clemson, prayers up for Wesco, wide receiver they got.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. It was horrifying. But with that, we're going to round out the Cardinals Companion show, talking a little Miami, previewing some Boston College. Then we talked a little bit about the season as a whole. All right. It's been a fun season. But I think we're finally going to wrap this up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Did something a little different this week. talked about the Miami game, talked about BC, did some mid-year report carding and whatnot. Please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff for the content. We really do appreciate it. It goes a very long way. For all the Miami fans that tuned in last week, y'all are still welcome. Y'all can listen to us talk any day, baby. But thank you guys so much. We're going to catch you all next
The boats are
time.
home.
Recapping some Boston College. Go Cards, boys.
We brought the boots home.